Hello and welcome to the Chattergate podcast in a brand new year. As usual, though, it's still me, the Dragon King Thomas Hughes, and Mr. Zenith, but nothing else because he doesn't like. It's confusing as always. This Zenith, Connor O'Shea. You know, the Zenith of many names.
Yeah. Hello, welcome.
First, I thought since obviously it's the start of the new year, I was obviously an easy topic to sort of start with is like most anticipated media of 2022. So over the last like few days, actually, I've been like putting stuff out on Instagram, like my favorite like top 10 like movies and TV of last year, 2021. I've been doing that. I'm kind of going to skip the gaming one just for the fact that I haven't officially finished more than 8 games. I was looking at my ones. I'm playing like Resident Evil Village every now and again when I get like the actual mood. I'm obviously playing Kena, but those would make my actual list of top 10. But I'm not like at a state where I can say, yeah, I've played enough of it to officially rate it.
Yeah, give it like an actual number.
Yeah, obviously I can give it a number that I'm at the moment, but I can't give it like an official one because I haven't really played that much. I'm about halfway through both games, so there's no point. So I can't actually make it like a top 10 list out of games because I haven't played many games from last year. So I'm gonna kind of skip that. Obviously, my top game, push my desk, was obviously fucking Ratchet and Clank. That was the top one, with It Takes Two in second. But as I say, I can't really. I could do like a top 8, but then it would mean that Dungeons and Dragons game is in there. Like, you know, that doesn't deserve to be like that doesn't deserve to be like a top 10 list. But anyway,
I don't even know what games I've finished that have come out this year. To be fair,
so
can't really think of anything that's been mega.
I've played enough of the 8 games that I've got to technically give like a rating, but I just can't officially give one any further than that.
So I think obviously Resident Evil, but I've been playing a lot of older games to be fair this year. I've been playing obviously like I played Dark Souls,
God of War.
Went back to play Darksiders, yeah.
Days Gone.
So everything just been replaying stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, I think the first big game we'll be playing this year is obviously Pokemon, but we'll get into that if it's in any of our lists. But obviously, for this, we'll be looking at obviously the movies that we think are going to be like our favourite ones or ones we're looking forward to the most that's coming out this year. TV shows that can be obviously straight to TV, streaming, wherever you find it. Your neighbour's house, if you look through the window, it's playing. And basically video games as well, because that's the obvious one for us too. Or at least you.
Oh, thank you.
So obviously, I feel like we'd start straight in video games to get out of the way and done with. So I mean, the big two, I mean, is God of War and Elden Rings. Obviously, Elden Rings has its release date of Feb, whereas God of War recently got given obviously an age rating for some countries. So that looks like it could be gearing up for like an announcement. Rumours that I've been reading could be aiming at like a September release.
Yeah, I expect it at the end of the year kind of thing. Because, I mean, they've had how many delays anyway, so why not delay it till like the end of the year and just have a big good release rather than fucking most games at the minute where they're releasing it's half finished.
The rumour I was like looking at, I was saying obviously the sort of usual like gap between PS games that come out. Obviously Horizon's out in Feb. That's a big one for me. That's probably going to be like obviously the game after Pokemon for me. So they're on a bit the big gap, looking like it could be September unless there's like nothing else before that. So that seems like it definitely seems like it's gonna be like an end of the year, last minute to try and like tease the like fucking Game of the Year awards.
Yeah,
because you usually find that sometimes the games get thrown out last minute, just like stir up the pot, like Death Stranding did. Like it come out and obviously got loads of nominations, didn't win any awards, but it still stirred up the pot of people saying, "Oh, which one's going to win?" So obviously that's the aim they're going for. But I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to God of War. Ragnarok's definitely the game I want to play this year, as I've stated in many videos before. Just because, I mean, the 2018 one is better than the first one. I get confused a lot with trying to like say like the versions because it's technically not the first one, but it's the first one I played. Is like the best game I've ever played ever, and I've played it a couple of times now. So seeing the previews for Ragnarok just makes me go, I need to play this game. I mean, PS5, it's day one, I'm going to be playing it. Or, you know, at least a couple of hours after I've woken up, I'll be playing it.
It's one of the things for me, is like one of the big driving forces to make me want to get a PlayStation 5 is just God of War. But I mean, with the lack of PlayStation 5s, I feel like towards like obviously Horizon coming out and God of War, they'll definitely release some big things. Even not even like a bundle. like because they usually release like the big bundles, which you haven't really done yet with PlayStation 5. So it wouldn't surprise me to try to do it more. Especially with God of War coming out in September towards the holidays like December, trying to have like a big bundle sale. Be nice.
Yeah, and
But
obviously, as I said, the other big one is obviously Elden Rings. See, that's the thing. I'm on. I don't think I'm gonna get that straight away because Horizon's out pretty much the exact same time, and I've not played any of the Dark Souls games because obviously you've said they're very difficult, and I'd probably get frustrated very quickly and give up. But obviously, I played the first Horizon and really enjoyed it, so I'd be definitely no. Don't get me wrong. I love the graphics of Elden Rings. To what you showed me, that looks really fucking cool. But I'd be drawn more to something I'm very familiar with, which is obviously Horizon Forbidden West this time, and I'll be drawn to that because that also looks really good visually. I mean, the water in that looks amazing. I remember showing it to Alex. He was pointing out the water in it. It was like, oh, that looks really fucking good. So I'd be drawn a lot more to that, even if it's fucking ridiculous price tag, which is like 70 quid, I think. I think it's like 70 quid for the base edition and like 80 quid for like a deluxe edition. But I was looking at what you get with the deluxe edition. I was like, it's not really worth it.
Nothing.
It's like, it's not really worth paying the extra 10 quid for it. I might as well just fucking stick with the 70 quid edition as it fucking already is. Whereas obviously Elden Rings isn't obviously as pricey.
Like a PC, and
Exactly. But I think just for the fact of playing the first Horizon over any of the Dark Souls type games, I'd definitely be more Horizon than Elden Rings. I mean, I think I'd eventually get it. If there's like a space in the year where there's nothing coming out or anything, and I'm like, oh, I can spare like a month or two playing a game. Oh, I'll pick Elden Rings up. So I'll probably pick it up at some point down the year, some point between like games if there's nothing else coming out.
It's definitely going to be a big year for games this year. I think that's the only problem with playing games and being a gamer is like we're going to be stuck between what games. Obviously, me and you both going to get Pokemon. That's going to be a big one.
Yeah, it's end of Jan. That's the first new game we're both really going to play.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's soon. Then straight after, obviously, you have Horizon, but I'll be playing Elden Ring.
Well, obviously, that's the thing.
Then,
we're two playing two different games. We can obviously communicate our thoughts towards it, because then maybe down the line, I know you haven't finished the first Horizon, but maybe down the line, obviously, you'd get that and I'd get that. Because of the positive or negative reviews they get. I don't think either are going to get negative reviews. I think both are going to get really high acclaim.
Yeah, I think Elden Ring pretty much. I don't think there's a Dark Souls game except for Dark Souls 2 which has like a negative mega review. So normally just like, oh, it's too difficult. But then again, a lot of reviews they're like, oh, I can't play a game, it's too hard. And then you saw the fucking all the stuff with like Cuphead when they couldn't even jump over a wall and was like, I give this a 1 out of 10. Can't jump over a wall. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, that's the good thing. We're both going to different games, so we can both enjoy it in our own ways, and then maybe enjoy it the other way as well. So that's quite interesting. I mean, obviously, I don't know. Obviously, don't know when it's going to come out, but I think the Suicide Squad game, I'm definitely looking forward towards that.
Yeah, that comes out.
I think it's like
When does it come out?
I don't know if they've got a release date, but if they have, it might be the middle of the year. I'm not too sure.
Probably mid-year, yeah, like May or something.
I mean, the recent gameplay they dropped at the Game Awards, that looked really cool. I actually really enjoyed the look of that. I thought it looked really interesting to play. Obviously, it looks like you're running a mill sort of shooter, bashing shit like that, but it does look pretty cool. It being the Suicide Squad. I mean, especially coming from Rocksteady, obviously the ones behind the Arkham games. So you're not probably going to get a shit game. You're going to get something that's going to be enjoyable.
I feel like I'm looking forward to it. It's one of them games I'll sit back and wait a few just to see how it goes out. Because obviously, I mean, look at the Avengers game. They had like a big studio behind it, and that come out and was just like, oh. I've seen all the gameplay they released for the Avengers game, which looked really good as well. And then they come out and was just like, so hopefully this game's good. But I think this game's more of like a story-driven thing, whereas Avengers are kind of like a bit of story and then a bit of like other stuff as well.
Map situation where you can just jump around. Whereas this does look definitely like it's going to be a full story-driven game with obviously the massive co-op. See, I will probably look at obviously if they start showing all the different aspects, feel like, oh, this is how you play it single player, this is how you play it co-op. That's how I look at it a bit, because obviously I will, if it is like a really good-looking single-player experience, then I will pick it up probably quite around the time it comes out, just for that. But if it looks better as the co-op experience, I'll probably sit back and wait until the likes of you and that get it, because then I want to play it like that. Cause it's going to be like a 4-person co-op game, So that
Yeah.
I want to have that experience. I don't know. I want to be running around with King Shark with his minigun with you. You know, I don't know. Jetpacking
I'll be
around,
dead shot.
shooting. Yeah, that's what I was going for. Jetpacking around, shooting people. And then if there's anyone else joins us, that can be the other two. But that's the
Aiden
thing.
Harley Quinn.
It's the same. Really goes for Gotham Knights. That's another big DC game coming out this year. That's another like 4-person co-op game, which I think that one's leaning more towards the aspect of it being more of a co-op game than obviously solo experience. So obviously that would be one that I'd probably wait like a few weeks or so until like, all the reviews are ready, if they're positive, and other people are going to say, "Oh yeah, I'll get it," and obviously they didn't get it. So it definitely looks more like a joint experience that one does. But that's definitely something obviously interesting. I mean, I think there's definitely one that's it's not on my top 5, but I feel like it's one that we, me and you have been talking about it, thinking about getting it. One is the Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely pick that up. But I like Borderlands series. This will be your introduction properly to the Borderlands series.
Well, I've played like the start of Borderlands 2, and I played Tales of the Borderlands, the Telltale game, but I've not properly sat down and played the full Borderlands game. So yes, technically speaking, this would be probably my first like full experience in a proper Borderlands style game, even if it is batshit crazy looking D&D style.
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously playing obviously Borderlands 2, the DLC for that was D&D, which is like obviously this is the spin-off of that. So hopefully it's good.
Yeah, it does look like it's going to be fun. I mean, it's got like a really good cast, hasn't it? Really, voice acting wise.
A lot of people in
Andy
there.
Samberg, Will Arnett. There's quite a few really like obviously voices you'll recognise. So it definitely looks like a fun. I think it looks definitely a fun game for multiplayer.
I think it's one of the things that don't take yourself seriously, and I like games like that. Like,
yeah,
that's why I like Borderlands series in general. It's just stupid fun. Like, it's not like, oh, I take this serious. Like, obviously, it's good to have games to sit down serious. Which I mean, I've been playing Red Dead story. I'm like 18% through, I think, and that's like serious as hell. Like the whole story is pretty good. But then you got the fun bits. Like, I did the mission when you get drunk. I love that one. And you're looking for him, and everyone's him.
I need to play the story again at some point. But I mean, see, I agree with you. That's why I think I like the likes of obviously Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Watch Dogs. Those games are technically like, really serious at times, but they do have the really dumb, comical sides where you're just like, okay, like a Far Cry, you know, your pets that can attack people, your weird guns. Watch Dogs, you got the really stupid AI, especially the new one. You can like recruit anyone. You can recruit an old granny into your division. Obviously, Assassin's Creed. There's just like some obviously weird ass stuff you can do, like in terms of like the side quests, and you know the fact that you can just bone anyone in this new game is quite funny. The fact you can just get drunk and walk around, just like really waddling around, drinking content, like that's really stupid. Like that's really fun. That's why I think I like them, because they have the serious sides, but they have the comical. Sometimes you don't mind like something really serious, but you do want a bit of like you don't give a shit like moments.
Yeah, side bits in it.
Yeah, where you can just like dick around. I say we like Watch Dogs. The song you don't do like a serious mission drone around, you're just like controlling cars behind, just crashing into people. It wasn't me. But that's just really
steal
yeah, that's what I love doing. Or just like turn the lights on when you drive past, like turn the red lights to green. I just love doing stuff like that. It's just really, I just find it hilarious, especially when you hear people yelling. It's like, oh, who did that? Or like the drawbridges, we just lift them up, and like the people are like, oh, for fuck's sake, I can't get over there. And you're there going, yeah. I just love stupid stuff like that. So I feel like this game is definitely like right up our alley of just a dumb fun time. Another one, but obviously neither of us actually finished the game. It's obviously Breath of the Wild 2. There's no release date. There's not too much details about this game. Obviously, neither of us really finished the first game. Like I think we got so far into it, it's just that big of a game that we never got any further.
I think the furthest I've got is like on one boss off the Ganon or whatever. I think it's one of them games that, yeah, it's good that it's open world, and I think it's pretty good, but there's a lot of nothing in it. Like, I hate the fact that I'm running for ages and it's the same enemy over and over again. It's like, well, no, it was a good game. It's just the fact that it wasn't like as amazing as everyone was making out. Like, everyone was like, this game's amazing, it's such a good open world. And I played it and I was like, yeah, it's a good open world, but there's hardly anything in it half the time. Like, I just feel like I'm running like endlessly. weapons constantly breaking over. I'm looking forward to the second one. I think there's a few things might improve on it, but knowing Nintendo, they keep the formula the same and just change a few little aspects, and you'll be like, hey, a new game. Look at Pokemon. The new one's the only one that looks so different from all the other ones.
Yeah,
and then like, all the other ones the same.
I feel like, because obviously they haven't really released too much about it, I feel like maybe we'll be sold more if they released obviously more details, gameplay, everything about it. Maybe that would draw us in more, but I feel like until then, I feel like it's a game that, though we like keep our eyes on, is one we won't get straight away. We'd sit back and wait for it eventually to get down in price.
I mean, when I bought my Switch, the first game I bought was Breath of the Wild because everyone was raving about it.
I think mine came on my Switch. I think it was one of two games. It was that and that fucking Mario Rabbids game. And I played more of that than Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Rabbids one was
it was quite fun.
It's different formula.
I mean, the second one to it. That's why I did the second one to it.
I think they might be doing the second one.
Yeah.
I definitely know I've got the first one and the DLC to it.
I didn't play the DLC, but I played enough of the main game because it's quite an interesting style of game. Especially when you got the rabbits dressed as Mario and Luigi and like Princess Peach. That was hilarious.
I got like the gold edition because I think it might have been Smiths that messed up on the price and like they released it for the price of like the standard edition by accident. So I walked into shop and was like 15 quid. Okay.
I think I got mine with the console, so it didn't really matter. I mean, it's definitely like an interesting year coming up for gaming because as I said, there's so much that's been announced. We've only like touched the surface. There's that much more that's been announced.
Another game that I totally forgot about. Yeah, Dying Light 2.
Exactly, you got that, which is I think Feb, isn't it?
Yeah,
but that's no Feb one. Really good. I feel like that's another one we're gonna sit back because of Elden Ring's for you, Horizon for me. It's definitely we're gonna wait a while. So I mean, we enjoyed the first game until we like realised we were so underpowered and whatnot. I'm just like, yeah, fuck this game, we're done.
But kind of obviously I restarted from where I was, so I was like going from like overpowered fucking character that finished the game to like a level 1 was like, fuck, it's been a while since I've been like this. So for me, I was like, from the fast-paced bit, obviously, when you got to end game, it's really fast-paced because you're bopping everything. And then when you go back to level 1, it's really slowed down. But still love the game. I think the second one might be, obviously, to keep the same formula with like the parkour-esque and all the other stuff, but like obviously maybe improve bits and bobs to be more fun.
Yeah, so, I feel like it's definitely one we just wait a bit for. And then, obviously, we just touched the surface here. There's so many more. I mean, for me, obviously, I've got the last Dark Pictures game before they take a break on that. I know it's probably going to sit back and wait for reviews on before anything. Obviously, Saints Row's getting the reboot this year.
Yeah, that's going to be a big 50-50 divide, I think.
I mean, most Saints Row games were when the first were coming out. I mean, they were just basically trying to rip off GTA at times, and GTA was being more successful. But they were still fun games because they just eventually got rid of that whole GTA formula and went, fuck it, let's just take the piss.
Yeah, I still think the second one was the best one, like trying to be serious about it, and then the third one came out and was like, oh, here's a few funny weapons, and then the fourth one came out, which was like just crazy shit.
I feel like that's what they realised. That was just the fact that they realised after the second one, though it was really good. Basically GTA was just a better version of it. It was like, okay, let's just try and just mix it up here. I mean, GTA tries to go funny. Let's just try and overtop that with, really stupid weapons, really stupid characters, aliens, hell, shit like that. And then, they fucked it up with the Age of Mayhem shit, and then forced the reboot.
That wasn't even anything, was it? That was like, oh, we're the creators of Saints Row, and then it came out and was like, yeah, fuck that shit.
It was like one of the alternate universes that the fourth game set up, and then it was just awful. So this reboot. And hopefully it's 50-50, but I'm hoping it's not shit, because I did like Saints Row. I mean, I played Saints Row before I played GTA, so hopefully it's something
I hope it's good. I do like Saints Row, I just didn't like the look of the trailer. For me, it's just very... obviously, might as well finish this category with a game that's inevitably going to come out this year, which is the next Call of Duty will probably come out this year, it always does.
I mean, we both skipped the last one, didn't we?
The only thing that will draw me back to the card now is most likely Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, like if they did a multiplayer online, because that was my favourite one. Like, obviously the Modern Warfare 1 Remastered, which was really good. I enjoyed that. I put loads of time into that, so... But I'm pretty sure it's... Whose turn is it? Because they have like 3 companies, don't they? They have like Treyarch, Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer. I'm pretty sure Infinity Ward's turn this year, so I mean, now might release a new Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare 2/2. Because there's already two. There's
Yeah,
already
who knows?
one.
It's quite early in the year before we ever find out any fucking information about this sort of crap.
Yeah,
I mean,
Vanguard got leaked.
I mean, it's not obviously this isn't actually a game. It's kind of, well, it kind of is. It's kind of DLC, but it feels like it's basically a big game. Assassin's Creed obviously is doing the big expansion this year.
Oh, wait, it's got like a whole second DLC.
Their Ragnarok expansion to try and basically compete with fucking God of War. So I'm looking forward to that. But obviously, it's not actually technically a normal game. It's DLC, but it's basically like at least like 30, 40 hours worth of gameplay or some shit like that.
It's like a DLC, but it's like a separate character, isn't it? It's not like your character you're playing.
You're playing Odin again.
Yeah, so
it's set in Asgard again, sort of. I don't know. I saw bits of the gameplay. The teaser looked quite interesting. There's not too much info about it that much, but anyway. Okay, so I think we'll quickly move on to TV, or leave the movies till last because there's quite a few of them. See, for me, now it's my big one. I think they're literally going to start. I don't know if the dub's getting released, but I know it's the sub's getting released this coming weekend. Attack on Titan season 4 part 2. I have one last episode of part 1 to watch. I binge watched the entire series today, and I fell in love again. I mean, I got confused at the start, and then realised when they explained it, it'd been a time jump. It's like so many years after series 3. Then I started to understand, but it was still so fucking good. It's so cool seeing the characters all like grown up, and I see what you mean there by Eren being basically an asshole because he's at the start he's not too bad, but as the series goes along, he becomes a fucking asshole. I mean, he beats up his best friend. That says something.
It's one of the things of like no one knows if he's gonna be good or not. Everyone's kind of on the edge of like, is he turning bad?
The action is fucking insane. Like, the new weapons they have. It's quite cool as well because part 1 obviously shows a lot of focus on the other besides the bad guys, showing like from their perspective, like before everything happened, how they got there, and obviously just how their perspective when stuff's attacking. It's basically like a switch on series 1, which is quite cool. And as I say, I'm literally one episode away from finishing, which I should finish tonight after we're done with everything. And I literally can't wait. I think, as I know, the sub starts the 9th of Jan, but I think the dub usually is around the same time, at least a week later. So I'm definitely looking forward to that because I just can't wait for it. It just shot up. That wasn't even on my list originally. Heck, part 1 wasn't even on my like top in my fucking like rankings of TV shows of last year. But now I've watched it, it's actually like got into like number 2. So what I put out on Instagram, the top 10 is basically like the top 10 at the end of 2021. But I'm still adding stuff to it, and this is literally just go straight to it, and it's straight to the top of my most anticipated because I can't wait to see how it ends.
I need to sit down and watch it properly again. And obviously, I watched the first season. After that, I kind of fell off. Watched a bit of the second. I need to sit down and just watch it all, like just blast it out.
It's so fucking good. It's so good. The one I've got here, obviously, is technically would link us back to video games. So obviously, video games seems to be having like an actual decent run in terms of TV adaptations. I mean, Castlevania, though The Witch is technically based on the book. It is somehow say The Witcher. There's a couple of other like adaptations that are doing quite well in terms of TV wise. So obviously, The Last of Us. It's getting the big HBO treatment. So obviously the Game of Thrones, Westworld style of money going into it. And I feel like I'm interested in that because I love the first game. Second game was good, but obviously it had its issues. We're not going into that. But I'm interested to see how they adapt that first game. I know they're not like fully adapting it, which you don't want. You want them to like take aspects, but you don't want them to fully basically just give you what you've already seen. But I'm interested to see how they work that game into a series. I mean, it's got a good cast. I mean, it's got fucking Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian, and the lead role is Joel. That's good. And obviously they've been casting left, right, and centre. And they even got someone from the game reprising their role in the show as the same character.
Yeah.
So that shows how dedicated they are to getting this right. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Obviously, there's no announcement yet when it's going to come out. I'm assuming it'll probably be back end of this year. I know they haven't like even in there's like a HBO Max trailer where they're showing like old TV shows that come out this year. Like Westworld, the Game of Thrones prequel, yada yada yada. That wasn't on there, but I feel like because I'm pretty certain they finished it filming, or at least close. It'll probably be the back end of this year. I could be wrong. It could be like next year entirely, but hopefully it is this year. It comes out because I do want to fucking see some footage on this show.
to think of. Isn't the Game of Thrones spin-off series this year?
House of Dragons.
Yeah. And I saw. What's the director's name? The one who writes the book. Sorry, not director.
George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, he said something about he saw
the one who's linked to Elden Rings.
Yeah, he said something about he saw some footage of it or something, and he said that like everyone's in for a treat. It's really good so far. So
hopefully they don't balls it up like they did with the other prequel they tried to do. The one they made like a single episode for like 50 million or even more than that. I think it was actually. I think it might have been like 100 million. Like that one episode, and they scrapped it after one episode. They didn't even bother showing the episode. They spent all the money on making it and then fucked it off. They're like, yeah, no. So hopefully it's not that bad. I don't think it will, but I mean, the fact that I'm pretty certain they've actually filmed more than one episode, I'm pretty certain that they've actually got a lot more confidence in this series than they had with that other spin-off, which is weird because that had, just like this, had so many like well-known faces within the show, and they just gave up after one episode. So, fingers crossed it's actually good.
I know it might be like a prequel or whatever, but like following on anything from Game of Thrones is going to be hard. So.
Exactly, pretty much. What else we got? Obviously, the other big fantasy one is obviously Lord of the Rings. That's due like I think September this year. That's a big one. That's obviously like Game of Thrones level big.
Budget big.
Well, it's Amazon, isn't it? Amazon are back in this one, so I'm hoping we can get some actual footage on it at some point, because I mean Amazon aren't skimping on a lot of their shows they're putting out. I mean, apart from the CGI and Wheel of Time, that they're kind of skimping a bit there. Like, you could put a bit more money into that Amazon. Some of the CGI looked a bit wank. So hopefully it's like Game of Thrones level of good. So fingers crossed on that one. What else we got? Obviously there's a lot of other Disney based. There's a lot of Disney shows coming out this year. Like, in terms of, I think the big one for me has got to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan. I mean, there's been all it's been like released for is just concept arts. Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan, Hayden Christensen back as Darth Vader. It's a big fucking deal for the Star Wars universe. That is. I mean, that's probably bigger than the Mandalorian in terms of obviously.
Yeah, probably.
Because I mean, that was just like, that just came out of nowhere. Mandalorian did. It was like, obviously there's made like this new show up, and then added like other stuff from the universe into it. But I mean, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, come on, Ewan McGregor like got everyone's love after the trilogy. Even though obviously the trilogy is quite divisive, everyone loved Ewan McGregor, which you have to, because Ewan McGregor. Come on, hello there.
He was pretty good.
So I'm looking forward to see this. And the fact that there's going to be a Darth Vader Obi-Wan Kenobi fight within the show. That's drawing me in straight away to want to watch this. I need to see them two back on the screen for the first time since like the early 2000s, fucking dueling out with the lightsaber. That's going to be fucking incredible. So that's like one of the biggest hypes I got coming out this year. I mean, the other one I think is probably Moon Knight, the Oscar Isaac's Marvel series, just because Marvel have been knocking it out the park recently with like getting characters that are so obscure or not as well known. Like, I mean, Shang-Chi, they knocked it out the park with him, and I'm hoping they did the same with Oscar Isaac's Moon Knight. There's rumours that it might be coming out in February following Boba Fett's finish, because obviously Disney like putting theirs out quite just after each other. So there's rumours that, and obviously there's rumours George Clooney's directed an episode. Apparently there's rumours he's directed an episode of this show. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to see who fucking Ethan Hawke's playing in it. I mean, it's got a fucking stellar cast. Oscar Isaac, Ethan Hawke. Two big fucking names. So I'm looking forward. I've got to say, though there's some other really good Marvel shows that are scheduled to come out this year, like She-Hulk, Secret Invasion, that's a big one, Miss Marvel. There's a few other ones that are due out this year. But I feel like Moon Knight's the one that's catching me. I mean, it's the one that's basically like Marvel's equivalent to Batman, sort of. Like, it's dark. It's a guy in a cape. It's a guy beating people up.
Serious.
Yeah. I mean, that fucking little preview they showed at Disney Plus Day last year, that got me fucking really hyped. I mean, it looks so fucking good from like 5 seconds of clips. I was like, that looks pretty cool. So that's definitely like in my top 5 for this year. I want to see. It's going to be good.
So I'll give my one series that I'm looking forward to.
What is it?
Afterlife Season 3.
It's not out in like a couple of weeks.
It's like very soon, yeah.
It's like Attack on Titan. It's literally around the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, there's another one that's coming out just around the corner. Peacemaker, the John Cena series. The series
yeah,
that's got a
from
spin-off. I mean, that just dropped a teaser, another trailer on New Year's, and it looks quite good. It looks really fucking good. He's like he's in like a school talking to kids, and the kid he's like coming up with these stories about him being like this like badass and whatnot. And he's on about this kid's like, oh, do you know? Have you met Wonder Woman, or do you know Wonder Woman or something like that? And then he's like, oh, I know her. She was eyeing me up from the corner of the room. And he says something, and the guys, I know the teacher, he sort of shouts at him. He's like, "What? I said effing." He looks quite funny. He looks definitely fucking full James Gunn, like batshit crazy. He looks as crazy as Suicide Squad, just without like the big like cast of characters. It's more obviously just him and obviously a couple of other people that you may have obviously you saw in the film. I'm definitely interested with that. I think it's literally like a week or two away as well. It's literally around the corner. What else I got on my list here? Obviously, there's two big returns that should be due this year. Obviously, one is Amazon's The Boys. That's scheduled. I'm assuming that'll be coming out this year, Series 3. And obviously, Stranger Things on Netflix, Series 4. Those are two big franchises that people love that are pretty much due out this year. So I'm definitely looking forward to both of those. I think, though obviously I'm looking for Stranger Things, I love the vibe of that. I think The Boys, just because how well they've done with the first two series, I'm looking forward to see how they top those two in terms of brutal superhero-ness. Especially with the fact they're bringing in like new actors, new characters. Obviously, fucking Jensen Ackles, who played Dean in fucking Supernatural, is going to be in it. They're bringing all these other people in it. Someone who used to be in The Walking Dead. They're bringing loads of people in. I'm so looking forward to see how they work this series. I mean, apparently there's like one of the episodes they're doing is like one of the most like over the top fucking sex-filled episodes that was part of the fucking comic. So I'm looking forward to that one.
But I need to sit down and watch them, to be fair. I think I watched like halfway through the first season, and then I just end up putting it down there, picking it back up, which is what I do with most series. That's why I tend not to watch them.
Yeah, I tend to try and watch, like, if I can, all in one, because then I won't get drawn away. Because if I start watching like a couple of episodes, I'll tend to get hooked, which is what I did with Attack on Titan, which is what I've done with My Hero Academia. I've been watching them back to back, so I've got hooked fully in the show. Same with Cobra Kai. I did the same with that, which I'm hoping Series 5 comes out this year. I'll watch that in one sitting. I just put it on and got hooked and hooked and hooked. Or else, if I watched like so far into it, I would have gone so far behind like many other fucking TV shows I have. I watch a few episodes and then fucking like shit. Like, the series is over now. I've got about 20 episodes to sit through and watch. God damn it! So I understand your pain there. It's watch it in one, all in one, or not at all. I mean,
I started watching Witcher season 2. What I can't think of it yesterday, day 4, and I got like 4 episodes in, and halfway through one episode, I was like, "Yeah, I'm bored in a minute." I'll just turn it off. Like, it's been good, but it's not been amazing. It's pretty. Obviously, you enjoyed it. I just found it pretty boring so far. It's not a lot of anything. Like, I feel like the fights are really cool. Like, obviously you've watched them all. Do you know you got the big tree thing? And that big thing comes behind it and rips it apart. I was like, oh, that's gonna be such a cool fight. And then it kind of runs off, and then he's dead. And I'm like, well, I wanted that to be way cooler, like a bit more shots. But every fight that I've seen so far, then obviously in the end, if there's a big fight, it seems to end in like 2 seconds.
The finale's got like a massive fight that's just dragged out.
Actually, okay, I want to see a big long fight, not like these fights where they're like.
I think the episode, I think not the last but one, but I think the one before that as well is a big, massive like sword fight between loads of people, which is quite fucking brutal.
It's like obviously the guy who gets turned into the tree. That was pretty cool, and then that ended really fast as well. Like I was like, oh, I want to see like more action. Like I want to see a full-on fight, not like done. I was like, I don't know. I feel like I was getting like hyped up, and all of a sudden it's like a big disappointment. I was like, God damn it. Hopefully the end of the season pulls it back for me.
Well, obviously the Witcher prequel's out this year as well. That Blood Origins or The Origin, whatever the fuck it's called. That's due out this year. That's going to be interesting expansion. I mean, the last expansion I did, the anime film, was quite interesting. So fingers crossed this one is as well. I mean, it's a prequel. It's set fucking decades, thousands of decades before fucking The Witcher. So it's basically House of Dragons.
Yeah.
Unlike House of Dragons, Game of Thrones is still running, if you know what I mean. So this is coming out and fucking Witch is still going on, whereas obviously House of Dragons is coming out with Game of Thrones in there, so obviously everyone's just drawn to that. Whereas this, people are still like, well, that's still going on. Why am I being drawn to this? But I definitely think it's going to be like an interesting thing to watch. That little teaser they put at the end looks quite cool. So fingers crossed on that one. I'm more like a TV shows, FYI.
Yeah, I mean, me and TV shows don't really go together because you know how temperamental they are. So,
Well,
film,
movies, yeah, the big one. I feel like for me, the movie I'm most looking forward to this year, just because of one film that's just come out, is probably Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That, I mean, there's rumours there's going to be 3 Doctor Stranges, all played by Cumberbatch in it.
that was my top one.
There's rumours there's obviously his normal versions in it. Obviously, that's not a rumour, that's obvious. That Dark Doctor Strange is in it. And there's rumours that the Defenders Doctor Strange from the comics is going to be in it. Obviously, all played by Cumberbatch. So that's going to be quite interesting. Which is quite funny because I read like a thing earlier, people saying, years after Sam Raimi brought a bully into the Marvel Universe, he comes back and brings another bully in terms of Dark Doctor Strange. He leaves one bully, comes back with another. I thought it was quite funny. But yeah, that's definitely, thanks to Spider-Man No Way Home, that's definitely like shot up to my list. I mean, for my second on my list is The Batman. That was my top candidate for this year because the trailers that look really cool. But I mean, after watching Spider-Man No Way Home, I need to see the next chapter in this fucking universe, which is why Doctor Strange just went whoop. I read like people like I don't know if it's because obviously the this fucking vote happened like before there's massive like Spider-Man was really out. People voted like they're obviously I don't know what website it was like. There's a big website, obviously their movie of 2022, and though obviously Black Panther 2 got like the highest like votes, and I was like, obviously that's obviously interesting for the fact of how they're gonna handle obviously his death. But I mean, I'm assuming Spider-Man hadn't come out by that point because I mean, I'm more hyped for Doctor Strange 2 than Black Panther 2. I mean, Black Panther 1 was cool, apart from its bad CGI at times. But I feel like I'm looking forward to see how they're actually expanding on this multiverse angle. So that that's just personal preference, but I was reading about it earlier. I was like, oh, okay, so the vote. Cause I think the vote technically took place like a few days before Spider-Man came out. So I'm assuming that's why. I'm assuming if it took place after Spider-Man came out, then maybe Doctor Strange. Because I was looking at Doctor Strange is quite low down in this ranking. But I'm assuming if obviously this happened after Spider-Man, then obviously it might have been a lot higher.
I think Doctor Strange is the big budget film for Marvel this year. Obviously, with like all the stuff they've got doing it. So I think for me, it looks like the best one. But obviously, I've not seen any footage from anything else.
That hasn't been.
Films, I mean, so it's
I mean, the only ones coming out this year is obviously Black Panther 2, which says no footage at all been released. Just like behind the scenes stuff. 4 obviously is out. Again, no footage, just behind the scenes stuff.
But
that's technically not.
That's not them, but
that's literally around the corner as well. It's the end of this month.
Yeah.
I don't know yet if I'm gonna go watch that. I might skip that and just like I did with Venom and just wait for the actual release of the movie. It come today. I might just do that with that because I mean, there's only one movie coming out this month that I might jump out. I mean, I'm off when it's out, so I might jump in it, which I'll explain in a minute. But I mean, Doctor Strange 2 definitely, especially after the teaser trailer they released, looks fucking amazing. I mean, it's the combination of multiple movies. It's the one I want to see.
I think as well, like
Sam
seeing
Raimi behind it as well. That's what draws me in.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the CG that was in Spider-Man, it's like obviously going to be how it's going to look in that. Which I mean, how good it was when he's obviously fighting Doctor Strange. I can't wait to see this.
I mean, honestly, I mean, the first Doctor Strange had really good CG. It's like weird ass trippy balls fight scenes. But I mean, I feel like they're going to go for some max for this. And as I say, it's going to help with Sam Raimi's behind it. The fact he's going to bring obviously his knowledge from the Spider-Man trilogy. That's going to be really cool. I'm definitely really hyped for that more than I was before seeing Spider-Man. I mean, I was hyped for it before Spider-Man, just because all the rumours about it. But I mean, after seeing Spider-Man, it's like, I need to see this movie now, please. And it's May.
I've got another movie as well that I'm looking forward to, and that's Uncharted.
It's not on my list, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. Again, I feel like it's going to be like a Morbius. It might be either watch it when it comes out or just wait for the physical release of it. But I mean, I think I'm off when it's out. so I might go and watch it. But it's also out, I'm pretty certain, at the same time as fucking Horizon Forbidden West. So I might have to skip it just to play out, or I might do the smart thing, put Horizon on to install, and then go out and watch it. But then
probably.
and again, it's coming from Amazon, so it can come at any time in the fucking day. I might just go watch Uncharted. But yeah, I definitely. It's one to. I feel this is kind of like the Saints Row situation in terms of gaming. It's gonna be 50-50. It's gonna either be a good film or it's gonna be a bad film. I mean, the last video game movie we had, which was Resident Evil, which was like a mediocre mess of a movie.
Yeah.
So it's 50-50, isn't it? Really. I mean, it's got a good cast behind it, but then so there's a lot of other movies. So it's going to be. I feel like the one video game film I'm looking forward to most would be Sonic 2.
That's Sonic 2, yeah.
That's probably the one I'm looking forward to more than Uncharted. But I mean, I feel both are hit or miss. It's the 50-50. But I feel like Sonic 2 has earned the chance to be more than 50-50. It'd be like more 90-10, just for the fact of how good the first one was. Whereas Uncharted, the amount of delays this movie's had, the amount of directors it had behind the scenes, the amount of people attached to it, I feel like that's gonna like stutter it a bit. So, I mean, I've heard good things about it thanks from when I've been listening to like Nolan North talk about it online. Like he's said a lot of good things. He went to the set and whatnot, and he said a lot of good things. I mean, he's defended the hell out of fucking the Mark Wahlberg casting. So, hopefully, it's not a letdown. But I mean, it's literally like a month away, so we're gonna find out sooner or later if it's shit or actually good. I'm hoping it's at least entertaining. I don't want it to be I don't give a shit if it's a masterpiece or not. I just want it to be entertaining, like a 7 out of 10. That'll do me. Entertaining. Anything above that, bravo, well done. You're going a good film. Anything below that, really, you couldn't have put a better film out than that. I feel like, obviously, as we said, the Batman's a big one in terms of superhero movies, but in terms of non-superhero films, I feel like Jurassic World Dominion, the third entry in the Jurassic World trilogy, is another big one for me. I mean, the intro I showed you that they released, that like 5-minute intro, the CGI in that looked fucking really good. And I mean, it's the combination of the two previous movies, and it's like another one on my list as well. So I mean, it's going to be big. I mean, they're bringing back core cast members from the original Jurassic Park trilogy, and not in cameos either. Jeff Goldblum was in the second Jurassic World movie, he was a cameo, but this time they're actually not. So you got Goldblum back, you got Laura Dern back, you got Sam Neill back. That's a big deal for me. I'm so looking forward to that. All the images they've been releasing of these new dinosaurs they've added makes me look fucking towards this movie so more. I mean, it's coming out I think the summer this year. After I think it got obviously because it meant to come out last summer, but because of COVID they were still filming, so it never happened. But it's now this summer, so it's definitely high up in like my top 5 of this year. I want to see. I just realised I can take that off my list as well. I had John Wick Chapter 4 on my list, but that's not out now until next year because it got delayed. So that one could be removed off that list. And
Avatar 2? In that this year?
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, I'm looking forward to it because I'm interested to see where they go with it now. But I feel like
it took too long.
I feel like the first one deserved to take as long as it did to get the CGI right. So, I mean, it took since the 90s to make it, so it made sense. Because anything before 2009 would look dog shit. But I mean, as you say, it's 1922, like 13 years after the last one.
It's just been this long thing for a sequel. Like
that's like a fucking. I mean, hopefully it's good, and hopefully then the sequels to that are good. But I mean, I don't think I'd put it in my top 5, like top 10 even. I mean, I might know that John Wick's not in there, but
I know one that's going to be your number 1. It's going to overtake Doctor Strange. Hotel Transylvania.
I mean, that's right in the corner. I'm looking forward to that.
I know, where's your number 1?
Number 3 was on Christmas, over Christmas time. I was sitting watching TV and I looked in the kitchen. My mum was cooking and I could see it on the TV in there.
It's a guilty pleasure film, mate. It's one of the films that you don't want to miss. Okay, but
I hope the Transylvanians are pretty good. Now, the only other one that I technically had on my list, my top 5 before fucking John Wick went out, it was Halloween Ends, because I like Halloween Kills. So I'm looking for, just like Jurassic World Dominion, I'm looking forward to hear the end of the trilogy. I'm looking forward to that. So that's something interesting. Now I'm taking John Wick out. I'm gonna throw in fuck it, I might as well throw it in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, part 1.
Oh, the animated ones, yeah.
I'm gonna throw that into my list now. That John Wick's no longer in there. I mean that obviously the teaser they did, and obviously all that after watching fucking Into Spider-Verse over Christmas. I can't wait for it. I say I rewatched it Boxing Day. I think I rewatched it, which is funny because I watched it, got halfway through it, and again I noticed in the kitchen it was on fucking film 4, wasn't it? It just started. I sat there going, why does this intro look really familiar? Oh shit, the same film's on. But obviously I was watching it on DVD.
I like Into Spider-Verse. I think it's one of the best ones, like by far.
It's obviously it's definitely like neck and neck for me with No Way Home. It's definitely like neck and neck. So I'm looking forward to see where they go with this. Obviously, for the fact that we're going to get new Spider-Man characters, we're obviously going to see a lot of the ones we saw already. So I'm very much interested to see where they go with that. Ones that obviously why not? I was just debating about it. Just see another one that's around the corner. Scream. It's literally a week away. I'm looking forward to that. I might go watch that when it comes out. I was looking at the times for the showing. I was like, well, I'm off that night anyway, so I might go and watch it. It's when I got my free day off, so I might go and watch it. Because I kind of want to see that before it gets ruined, because it's one of those ones where it's like, oh, you need the killer's gonna be revealed. The fact gets fucking spoiled. It kind of spoils the entire film. That you don't know who the killer is until the very end. So I'm kind of debating if to jump at the gun and go, fuck it, I'm gonna go watch that. I don't know if it's actually coming out this year. Again, delay like a million times. Mission Impossible 7.
Doing another one.
Doing 7 and 8, but they're not filming 8 yet. They're going to do them back to back, but then obviously COVID, so they couldn't. I mean, after Fallout, I kind of really want to see another mission. I'm kind of looking forward to this. Fallout was really good, thanks to Henry Cavill's rocky mustache, which fucked up Justice League. No, Warner Bros. Fucked up Justice League. What else have we got? Knives Out 2. I really enjoyed the first one. It was a good murder mystery. And this time, obviously, Netflix brought the rights to it. I mean, Daniel Craig's getting he's like the highest paid actor because of this fucking movie. He's literally getting paid like 100 million for this movie.
The hell?
He's like the highest paid actor. He beat like The Rock and everyone because of like this movie. And again, he's got like this all-star cast of people. Like Ethan Hawke's in it, Dave Bautista's in it. There's loads of people in it. So I'm looking forward to see where they take this obviously new story. And the only one I got on my list is Prey, the new Predator movie, which is obviously a prequel. Because I'm interested to see how they handle that. Because it's obviously, if you look at like the last one, they tried to heavily connect like moments to like the other ones, but this is not, because it's going all the way back before any of the movies ever happened. And obviously, this isn't like going straight to cinema. It's going to be Disney Plus for us over here, so we don't even have to go to cinema to watch it. It's literally on streaming over here. I mean, it's Hulu in America, so it's basically streaming everywhere rather than cinema. But I'm interested to see where they go with this. Just the fact that it's like more grounded. For the fact that it's obviously basically predators versus people with like bows and arrows and like spears and shit. That sounds kind of interesting. That really does. I mean, I think there's like a fan film where it's like medieval time and the predators like in like medieval like England or some place like that, and that was pretty cool. I think it's like Predator Dark Age or something like that. So
that's pretty cool.
This concept just sounds quite cool. So I'm waiting for like any sort of trailer. I know they're finished filming it, so I'm waiting for any sort of trailer, any more images apart from the poster, because it does sound pretty sick. I think it's meant to be coming out like June or July time, so it's like middle of the year as well. So it's definitely something like to look out for when it comes out on streaming. But again, it could be hit or miss. Like the Alien and Predator franchise are both hit or miss franchises. But every like Predator, you've got, obviously for you be the Predator, but for me be Predator 2, because that wasn't as good as the first one. There's Aliens. For every like Aliens, you've got Alien 3. So it's basically like, it could be good, it could be bad. So fingers crossed, it's a good entry, because it'd be really cool if like if it did well enough that they carried on the story like into like another thing, or did like something very similar and took it to like another like. That's why I like Predators, the third one, because it like took it to space and kind of ignored a lot of everything else. It like threw the nostalgia in there, like the designs and whatnot, but it also took away with other designs. Like that was pretty cool. So I like the ones where it's like trying to like not just rip off too much the other ones, but also stay true to itself, like being this dark movie. That's also the problem with the Predator. It tried to be too comical for its own good.
Yeah.
That and the fact that there's like an actual other ending which never got released. It's one where the Predators team up with the humans and fight the Ultimate Predator, which sounds fucking sick. Why scrap that? There's a whole like tank battle with like predators on the tanks for the people fighting the Ultimate Predator. That sounds really cool. And they got rid of it in favor of like a really dark, crappy ending. Generic, basically, they went for. But the team up was sounding so much cooler. But yeah, that's like all the ones I'm sort of looking forward to. I mean, again, I feel like just with like gaming, obviously the TV will be the same. There's so many other ones that are due out thanks to delays from last year and the year before even. There's so much more due out this year, obviously on Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, the cinema in general, straight to DVD, because there's many of those really crappy ass movies out there. I mean, there's like a really low budget werewolf looking film. It's like Medieval, which kind of looks right up my alley, which I'm gonna check out for like £7. I think it's gonna cost. I think I'll check that out because I mean, it sounds like an interesting concept. Werewolves versus knights. It's not called that, but it's like
werewolves versus knights.
It's like Castle Wolf or Wolf Castle or something stupid along that line.
Castle Wolfenstein.
Yeah. But it looked low budget, but it looked like something. Obviously, if we put a bit of money into it, we'd probably end up making
Something you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, they use actual people in like wolf suits, which look quite cool. So I'm looking, and I'm pretty sure it's British, so I'll definitely give it a watch. But yeah, there's so many more movies coming out, which
hopefully no more delays.
Yeah, I mean, some are probably going to get delayed. Obviously that got delayed. There's bound to be many more that do get delayed just because of obviously fitting into schedule. If other films coming out that don't want to be like colliding with each other, so there's so many more that are probably due to be delayed to like 2023 or onwards. Fingers crossed it's none of the ones we've actually talked about because those are the ones that are the ones you want to see. If they get delayed, then this video is kind of redundant. But like my when I did the lists last year, a load of ones I said like got delayed. I mean, when I was like, oh, God of War is gonna be like my favorite game of 2021, got delayed to 2022. I think I said some numbers which I was like, oh, this is gonna be like the best one that's coming out this year. Delayed to 2022. Pretty sure most of the things on my list from last year got delayed to 2022. Oh, or like not even like put out on a schedule. It's like taken off the board entirely.
Random. Maybe released when they're released.
I feel like that is all my ones that I want to like actually put some talking into. But yeah, if there's any like ones that you can think of that you're looking forward to that we might have not mentioned, comments in there below, and
stick them in.
Yeah,
stick them in, and we'll stick them in further.
for everyone you stick in, I'll put a finger up Connor's ass. Oh, it's 20. Hold on, I'll put my hands and my feet up your ass. Eventually, I'll be inside him. I'll be like meat puppeting him eventually.
Do sign language for him.
The episode of SpongeBob when Plankton uses Sandy's fur. He's walking around like a puppet.
Oh yeah.
I'll be like that with you. Until you fart and gasp your head, and I'll just go.
Yeah.
Any more you can think of, or should we move on to like some news?
I don't think of what. I swear you told me one. Was it Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Oh yeah, February. That's come out in February.
I sort of forgot. I swear I was gonna say I hadn't even mentioned something about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming out on Netflix. That is.
Reboot. We'll go on to the news.
Well, it's not a reboot. It's like a sequel to the original.
Oh, is it? Oh yeah.
It's another one that's ignoring Sony movies, but apparently it's also saying, you can like decide yourself which ones are canon. It's like, what?
That's stupid. Right.
Yeah. Obviously, in terms of news, obviously we talked about Doctor Strange being obviously with Spider-Man. I mean, that's Spider-Man No Way Home's continuing to dominate the box office. It's over $1.3 billion at the moment. It's close to 1.4 billion. It's still like outpowering every new release. Obviously, the Matrix got thrown out, outpowered that. Sing 2 got thrown out, outpowered that. There's a couple of other movies that got thrown out, but it's still just outpowered every single one. People are still going in. It's still raking in the cash. So I don't think it will get to 2 billion, just because of, if you look at Avengers, it got to 2 billion by now. But I feel like it might get to 1.5 billion, which I think for a COVID release movie, that's really fucking good.
Although I gotta say, it's one film that I would defo go and watch twice in a cinema.
Yeah.
Not many films I would do that, but that is defo one. So
there's not many films I've actually done that for. I've done it for a couple, mainly because if I've already gone and someone's like, "Hey, you want to go watch it?" I'm like, I've seen it, but for fuck's sake, I'll go and watch it again. But this is definitely one I think when I walked out, I was like, I need to go watch that again. I haven't.
Just turn back
I
now.
probably won't. I'll probably wait for the physical release now, but it's one I definitely would have watched.
Just walk into the other screening.
Walk out of one and walk into another. That was me at the end of your one. The last 10 minutes is me coming in to watch it.
Like, hello.
Oh, it's an interesting one. Apparently fucking Johnny Knoxville's going to enter the WWE Royal Rumble this year. I was watching the pay-per-view day one, which is like the New Year's Day pay-per-view done this year. And it came up at one point, and it was obviously him on like an Instagram like video, and he's like, "Oh, I declare myself for the number one spot in the Royal Rumble." And I'm pretty certain it's legit happening. He's like going to be like the number one spot in the Royal Rumble this year. I was like, what the fuck? I'm interested to see how that's going to happen though. Is he going to get thrown out instantly? I feel like they're going to drag it out. I don't think they'll have like a star in and it's like get him out straight away. Unless it's like a fucking, even though he's in another company, Big Show comes back and just throws him out. Throws him out the arena. I feel like there's going to be some elaborate stunts though. For him being there.
Yeah,
there's going to be some Jack. Because I think they're promoting Jackass Forever. In the
new film, yeah.
I think that's what he's doing. He's promoting that. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with him in the Royal Rumble. But I thought it was quite funny and interesting. There was another thing I found funny and interesting. I read that obviously because I did that Harry Potter like Friends type reunion recently, obviously on New Year's. Apparently, when they were talking about Emma Watson at one point, they put a picture on the screen. Obviously, when on about her as a kid, but they put the wrong picture up. They didn't put a picture of her up. They put a picture of the actress Emma Roberts, who's obviously she's been in quite a few things. Daughter of Eric Roberts, a well-known actor, and they put her picture up. Apparently, I was reading it this morning. I was like, what? And I looked at it and I was like, obviously I can't hugely tell the difference, but I was like, yeah, it's not the right pictures. And people are saying go watch it before they fucking edit it out and fix it. I was like, fucking hell, of all the things, this big anniversary thing. And then they fuck up by putting the wrong picture on.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite funny. I thought it was quite interesting though. Obviously that new DiCaprio movie, Don't Look Up.
I mean,
that's actually his first negatively received movie since 2013. The last film he had, which was negatively received, was The Great Gatsby, which ironically starred Tobey Maguire. That was the last film he had that was negatively reviewed. Everything since then, Wolf of Wall Street, Revenant, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, were really well received. But obviously this has come out with like, I think it's like 55, 56%, but a lot of people have come out saying that it's very underrated. Like, it's actually better than I said it was. I agree with him. I thought it was quite funny. I think DiCaprio was definitely a star of the movie. Like, one that stood out is because how much he was overreacting to situations sometimes.
I've not seen it. I've seen the trailer and I didn't look. It wasn't very, impressive.
I read like people, they're like actually like people obviously who deal with that sort of shit for a living. Obviously the people who look at like the astronomers and shit like that, or something like that. They're saying that how actually like realistic the film is in terms of the reactions from some people, like how real that they've actually done the proper work in it. That was quite cool. Like they got it kind of basically spot on for like the actual overreaction. Obviously, some of the stuff's a bit over the top. I mean, the whole stuff with them going to another planet at one point that's obviously over the top. And Jonah Hill's just like being Jonah Hill. That's But I mean, apparently they got some of the stuff right in terms of the reactions. I thought I don't think it was like the greatest movie you'll ever see, but I still thought it was a lot better than critics put it out to be. It's definitely something that's worth a watch. And here's the last bit of like interesting news I got. Apparently, WandaVision was 2021's most pirated movie. I mean, series. Apparently, that was like the most pirated TV series of the year. Was WandaVision. I'm assuming it's probably because of how early it came out in the year, so it's had the more time to come out, people downloading it and shit. But I feel like it's also like the word of mouth in terms of people saying, "Oh, it's like really crazy. It's like really different." Obviously, that's probably what's drawn people to go. I will go on naughty site and I could pay money to watch it on Disney Plus for like $7.99 or $6.99 a month, but no, I do it this way.
It's a weird one to download, but like we always say, as soon as anything's on a streaming platform,
I feel like it's just the fact that it's like how long it's been out compared to a lot of other things. I mean, if you look at some of the other things that have come out, you'd think that it'd be more obviously pirated. But I mean, I feel like it's just because like how early? Because I think it was it February? It's like end of Jan, start of Feb, something stupid like that, or like mid Jan. So obviously it's had like all the year to basically for people to fucking get it illegally. So obviously that's probably why it's like the most pirated thing of the year. But yeah, that's all like, sort of what I could find. Anything you can think of?
I don't have no news. I don't know what's been going on. I've been hibernating for the past week. You're the news man. You keep up with all the stuff. I'm trying to think of any news that I've seen or anything I've heard. It's all just been depressing news that I've heard. COVID again. So yeah, let's not talk about that crap.
Yeah, that's the sort of big ones I could find. If you got anything, then we'll just call it then. So if you got any questions or anything, just as always, throw it in the comments below. Please give us a question. We need some questions. We need some for this segment. This segment's done nothing for like 13 videos. We need a segment. We need some. We want to talk to people. We want to talk to strangers. We want to get in the back of white vans because we want candy.
I brought my camera. Actually, no, it's gone.
Have you just? Well, why he's like trying to find his camera? I'll sound it out. And anyway, thanks for listening, and yeah, like, subscribe on YouTube, or if you're checking it out on Spotify now. I'm pretty sure there's like a like function on Spotify now. So I don't know if I
Here's my point of view.
Is that like your crotch point of view or your ass point of view? Because there's like fingers there and everything. Oh no, Inception! It's me. But yeah, check it out wherever you can, and we'll see you on the next video.
Bye.